Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mitch and Mike's voiceover journey. I'm Mike. That there is Mitch. And with us today, we have Susan Cooper. Welcome to the show, Susan.
Hey. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, Susan is one of the very first people I met in person in VO.
Ever?
Because back in a couple years ago, I went to, she's like, really? And you're still here? But a couple years ago, I went to One Voice in Dallas for the first time. I really only knew the people from GVAA and Gunner Ready. And we walked into the room and, mingled. And Susan, you were with your...
My creative director I work with.
Creative director, yeah.
So
and
we're presenting together.
Yeah, and so we just stopped and we're chit-chatting with you guys. And... very gracious and very good people, and we had a great talk with you. And then saw you again. I don't think did you go to One Voice last year?
No, I didn't go last year.
I didn't think so.
But then I saw you this year at VOA.
I saw you at VOA. Yeah. So and we reconnected. And I said, "Hey, would you like to be on the little podcast?" And she said, "Sure." And here she is.
Here I
am.
am.
I feel like we met. I feel like we may have at least passed each other and went,
Hey.
I don't know about that. Is Gunner a good wingman, by the way, Susan? Just as a friendly wingman, was he there the whole time?
Yeah, I definitely remember meeting him there. Like he's got a memorable name.
Solid guy. Okay, good.
And he probably gave you some chocolates, because that's what he had. That's what he did. He had his bag of chocolate.
I don't remember about chocolates.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess his chocolates weren't that memorable.
Were they the ones like Grandma passed out?
No, it was literally like little Twix and
oh man,
I think it might have been like the the ones you get the bulk bag with the tiny little Hershey bars and the good the crackles and the good boys or whatever the heck they're called, the ones with the nuts. I don't even know what. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody?
Mikey?
Anybody at all know what Mike is talking
about? Good boys, one with the nuts. That's gonna be a clip. All
right. Well, anyway, hey, let's get to the interview. So we can get it back on the rails. Susan, one of the reasons I thought it would be really, really cool to have Susan on the show is I think she's got a little different perspective than a lot of us voiceover actors, because she's not only a voice actor, she also works in advertising. So she's kind of on both sides of it. And so, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you, start out with, anything you'd like to start out with as far as a youth and, like creativity and all those things that everybody loves to see and hear and do. But then how you got involved with advertising, and then how, which came first, chicken or the egg, voice acting or advertising, and how that kind of came about.
Yeah. Well, I grew up as a kid, in theater, and so I always liked acting. But I've been in advertising since, not straight out of college, but close, within the first year of being out of college. I ended up at a advertising agency, and then a few years later ended up at a boutique agency where we shared office space with a local recording studio. I'm in Atlanta, and so Acoustic recording studio. Don't know if you've ever worked with them. Great guys. We shared office space with them, and so there's just always a need for, hey, can I have somebody read one little line real quick, or can you do some background vocals or whatever. And so I kind of started getting into it that way, just being a handy...
Through osmosis.
Yeah, just being a handy person, and then to have to read stuff. But also, we recorded a ton of radio. That was like our specialty at that particular agency. And so I was always just recording radio spots. I mean, this was the early 2000s when people listened to the radio. So I got to know a lot of voice talent in Atlanta, especially, and everywhere. And they were all so cool and nice. And I grew to love the community. And so then I started, fast forward 20 years. And so then I started podcasting, and I realized that more than actually podcasting, I liked the recording part myself. And so that's really what got me into voice acting and, starting to take classes and building my home studio and all that kind of thing. So pursuing voice acting in addition to my full-time job in advertising.
Wow. And does advertising fill any sort of creative niche, or is it still kind of narrow in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, so that is part of the thing is like I work with creatives. So I'm a creative project manager. So I work with creatives every day, but I'm like their admin brain, I'm the one who's scheduling meetings and building timelines and figuring out resourcing and priorities and who's going to work on what and managing the approval process internally throughout the agency. And so I'm involved in the creative process, but I'm not actually responsible for coming up with any of the ideas. And so it does kind of make me kind of itch a little bit to be creative myself when I could contribute ideas if I wanted to at work, but I don't usually, I
like stay in your lane.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's an open environment where like if people are riffing, I'm welcome to like throw something in, but
I can imagine working in an art gallery or like a ceramic studio as a manager, and you're like, I want to do that. Like, can I touch it? Can I play with the materials? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like I like just to scratch the itch and wanting to be more creative. A few years ago, I started a creative accountability group with some friends who kind of had the same feeling with in their corporate jobs. They didn't really get to be creative. And the older you get, you just kind of lose it when you're not like taking art classes like you did in school or whatever. And so we decided to start like a text thread where we report to each other every week, like this is what I did creatively, whether it was going to see a play or writing a poem or a short story or baking bread, or trying out a new recipe, just whatever, taking a class, whatever. And that really lit a fire in me to make creativity a practice and to exercise that part of my brain intentionally more.
Well, that's great. And I'm assuming, these are all people that not necessarily they're in voiceover. They do other things creatively.
Yeah. So it was my husband and my friend Susan, also named Susan, and her husband, and all completely. One of them is a dietitian, one of them is like in engineering, and my husband is like an office admin, but all very creative people outside of work. So
I've come to find out that everyone has it.
Yeah.
Even if they say they don't have it. Because you see it like on the edge of something, or they're tinkerers or something like that. But yeah, like you said, you lose it after a while.
Yeah, and people might sometimes label themselves, "Oh, I'm not creative," but they are. And you don't have to paint and be an artist to be creative. It can be in the form of whatever, making jokes to your kids. It can be in the form of, pretending something or whatever. It can be anything. It's not, and it also, you don't have to perform something or show it to the world to be creative. It can be just for you.
That's a great message. Most of the people that listen to or watch this podcast are in the voiceover world, but there are a lot of ways to be creative. It's like, my wife doesn't act, doesn't do any of this stuff. She doesn't understand, but she makes T-shirts. Yeah. She likes to make T-shirts, and it's a creative outlet for her. So,
T-shirt, Mike?
Would you want a T-shirt?
Where's my T-shirt? Is all I'm asking.
I don't know. Okay. I'll see what I can do. I'll get her to make the official Mitch and Mike voiceover journey T-shirt.
Yeah, you need that.
You know what?
Merch.
You know what?
What kind of podcast is this without a T-shirt?
Yeah, I know. Right now it's just on a Cricut, so it's not like, but
it works.
Yeah, why the heck not?
Yeah. And here comes Susan with the creativity to give you that idea. Oh my gosh, you're already
it's the new
elevating.
Creative accountability group.
I'm already
right
glad we had you on the show, Susan. Thanks for making us accountable. My wife is going to be the next guest on the podcast. So one of these days, no, she would never do it. I don't know about, because I just, your wife and my wife, and we have them on the show. How fun would that be? Except that my wife would never do it.
Okay. Well, Nicole's coming.
Plus,
she
my
said,
booth is kind of small. So
yeah, that's true.
Anyway, back to Susan. Hey,
Yeah.
Susan.
Hey, Susan.
So what? Being in the ad agency, just pulling. How do you play those two together? I mean, have you ever managed a project where you've actually been hired to be a voice actor on that project?
Well, that's the real bummer of it, is that our business affairs department won't let employees get paid to voice stuff. So
That does make sense.
Have I voiced stuff for free? Yes. Which kind of sucks, but it's also fun. Like, I want to help and be helpful and have the opportunity to voice stuff because it's what I love to do. So, I do that, but I have not done anything where it's national campaign broadcast TV and I did it for free. It's just
Right.
a case study here and there or focus group testing scripts, whatever, that kind of thing.
Which you could get paid pretty well for.
Right. Yeah. Like, I obviously audition for that kind of stuff outside of work. Like, I have agents and, I'm on rosters and things. And so I audition almost every day.
So, accountability group started pushing you into, okay, it's time to become the voice actor. You were already...
Oh, no, I was already a voice actor.
You were already a voice actor.
After I started the accountability group. But the accountability group did kind of give me the confidence and the urge to create my own audio drama.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that then, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
The audio drama.
yes.
Oh, go ahead.
So, at all these conferences that we go to, people, the people who are up on stage that have done really cool stuff, they're like, if you want to be in something that's really cool, then make your own cool thing. And so I thought, well, I know how to do that. I've written some things before, and I've produced things before, and I'm a voice actor, and I know a boatload of other voice actors who would love to do this, and I'm obsessed with romantic comedies. Why don't I write a romantic comedy audio drama called the Romcom Formula? And so it just kind of arrived in my head nearly fully formed. And I approached my friend Micah Caldwell, who is part of the Atlanta voiceover community, and we had talked about doing something together. And I was like, hey, what if we did this? And so she contributed to it a lot and helping me get organized and helping me figuring out where the story should go and helped bring in 2 comedy writers to punch up the jokes. And then we just... I found a friend of mine from high school who is an editor, and we've always wanted to work together on something. He's done a lot of filmmaking and stuff and editing, and so we just made it happen. And it was the most creative, fulfilling thing that I have ever done.
So now the Romcom Formula, for those of you who are wondering, it can be found on all your podcast streamers, your Spotify's, your Apple Music, or Apple whatever it is, and all the things. So look it up. Romcom Formula by Susan Cooper, starring Susan Cooper, written by Susan Cooper, and Susan Cooper did everything that needed to be done with
the
all her
credits are just you on the
you.
right
There
hand
are
side.
other characters, there are other actors.
But when was this? Give us a time. When did the brainstorm happen to get this rolling, and how long did it take to get off the ground?
The brainstorm happened a year and a half ago. And so I
not
approached,
that long ago.
Yeah, I approached Micah about it in November, a year and a half ago. Started writing scripts, and then it took me 5 months to write. It's 9 episodes, 30-minute episodes. It took me about 5 months to write all the scripts, and then we cleaned them up and cast it, over the course of a month. And then it took much longer. The post-production process was much longer than I anticipated because as a project manager and producer, I'm used to being able to set the schedule and say, this is the timeline and this is what we're going to do. And this is when first edit is due and this is when the second edit is due and blah, blah, blah. However, with a project like this where it's a passion project and, people did get paid, but it was self-funded. And so it was, I couldn't like demand timelines so much. And so it did take, we started recording in July, finished recording by like the end of September. But then the post-production went into January of this year.
And so you got all 9 episodes done before you actually started releasing them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we wanted to be sure that like we could meet. We wanted to release on a weekly cadence.
Okay.
And so we wanted to be sure that everything would be ready.
So, Mike and I are actually doing 2 separate and equal. We're playing with this idea too, and so I do have some more questions.
Yeah.
for
So
you.
everyone else can turn the podcast off because we're going to get personal here.
Yeah.
Well, it is because there's so much more to that, right? Like, you have to decide from the beginning: is this something we're doing for fun, and we're just going to post them and see what happens? Are you, or maybe you decided to build up the sort of hype on it before you let it go, and then unleash, the episodes. How did you decide how that part was going to go? Not just the writing and casting of it, which is a whole endeavor.
Yeah. I tried to build up hype a lot before it released, because I was excited about it and I wanted other people to get excited about it. And, the post-production lasted a lot longer. So then I had to like extend the hype for, I started like the Instagram account, Romcom Formula. I don't know, a whole summer before it actually released. And so, the hype part kind of like drug out much longer than I thought it would. And then it released, and then I had to continue the hype and talk about each episode, and there was a lot of me just like scrambling to come up with social media content for something that doesn't have any visuals. That was hard.
Right. Did you create visuals? Was that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, creating like a visual to go with like an audio clip, or trying to come up with like carousels of trivia thing. It's very like it's tailored towards like millennial women who love like romantic audiobooks. Like that's such a big market, and that's kind of my thing. And so I followed a bunch of like rom-com audiobook accounts, and kind of there's a lot of like beloved tropes and things that we leaned into. And so we leaned into all the tropes and tried to come up with a lot of social media content around that.
Okay. And this then came out free afterward. It's like, here you go, people who've been waiting X amount of months. Enjoy.
Yeah.
And what kind of reception have you gotten? And I don't mean give me the raw numbers, but do you feel like you've gotten a good following from starting the social media accounts and getting followers there and promoting it and pushing it out and getting your friends to know that it's there, and then finally releasing it? Do you feel like all of that really pushed the listenership?
I do. I think people who've listened to it have loved it. I mean, the people who it's made for. Obviously, if you're a dude who only listens to sci-fi audio dramas and doesn't like romance, then you might not like it, and that's fine.
A good rom-com.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely for people who like a good rom-com. It's full of rom-com. It's a love letter to the rom-com and the rom-com tropes and leaning into that. So it definitely, people who have listened to it have liked it. I would love for more people to listen to it. I really did. I thought that more people would stumble upon it organically, and it would get a lot more listeners than it has, just because romance is such a huge, romance literature is just booming.
Yeah.
And so I thought, just because the genre being so popular, that people would stumble into it just based on like having decent SEO on the podcast apps. And I don't know that there has been a lot of organic
really
people stumbling upon it. I think it's just based on like, I can see in the data like where the people are from who are listening, and it's basically like my friends in Atlanta. I mean, we have people from all over the world who have listened to it, but the majority is like people in Atlanta because it's people that I know.
Well, hopefully it's one of those things that I mean, first of all, are you planning a season 2?
I would love to do a season 2, but I feel like if I'm going to do a season 2, I need to pay people more. Like it was self-funded, and I didn't pay people standard industry rates by any means. They were all delighted to work on it, and I think that they would do it again. But I feel like I need to do a real fundraiser to do a season 2.
Well, there's
and so
indie
that's kind of
rates for a reason.
That's kind of
that's
daunting to me, and so that's taken the wind out of my sails a little bit on actually writing.
And
I've got
hopefully
an idea for it, but
it's happened before to other podcasts and other media like this, that something happens and word of mouth grows, and then suddenly you find that listenership starting to grow, and hopefully there will be maybe a slow burn in an organic movement. Hopefully the thousands and thousands of listeners that we have that are
yeah. And then
we'll go out and listen to.
When Netflix calls me and say, "Hey, we want to make a TV show out of it," that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
We heard about your audio drama on this show that we listen to frequently called Mitch and Mike's Voiceover Journey.
Right.
And we really wanted to explore a multi-season deal with you.
Yes.
And we'd love to make it on screen because you are all so beautiful.
No, I don't. I would not want to be on screen. I think I'm probably too old for my voice, the character I voice. So.
Well, we just change it. So this happened. You put it out, and it might not have got the organic listeners, which might have also happened to this show. But is there any? There's plenty of things we could have done to this show. We didn't do any sort of hype. We're like, here's some weird episodes of us talking to each other, nobody knows who we are, sort of thing. Is there anything in hindsight that you think might have shored you up, or you had the SEO, like you said, that you think that works? I mean,
I think if I had kind of budgeted for some paid advertising on Instagram, that probably would have helped.
Okay.
And I still could do that. There's nothing stopping me from doing that right now.
Yeah, there's called classics for a reason.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I'm personally so pumped because all the podcasts I listen to are either interview style, which gets kind of boring after a while.
Who wants to listen to an interview, am I right?
Really?
I love them, but it's now I got to change it up. And I don't personally want to go to a fantasy or sci-fi too often because I've listened to those a lot. I've literally never come across a rom-com
Well,
style.
that was my other hope. Is that there are a couple. There's a couple out there, but I feel like people are bound to be searching for that on the apps. There's not that many out there.
Yeah, a brand new story that nobody else has heard or told that is acted out. That's one thing about, say, listening to an audiobook, a Sarah J. Maas audiobook. You're probably only getting 2 actors, most likely.
Yeah.
And yours, how many actors?
There's 4 main characters, and then there's 10 other side characters and extras.
Which is awesome. I love that.
Well, and I mean the medium is growing, right? I mean we hear it in the industry that audio drama is really becoming a creative format that is gaining momentum. So all that to say, it's not it hopefully will find its legs, and there's nothing that says you can't continue to promote it and continue to hand out stickers at the conventions and put them up wherever, walk by every telephone pole you see and smack one on there. And
I know I'm gonna be once you send me a box of stickers, it's going in every bathroom, every I don't know where else,
every stall.
All right.
I'm
Well,
only
then
thinking of bathrooms.
I'll send
now.
you some.
Okay.
And I guess I should mention this. I got nominated for a One Voice Award for it.
So that's right,
Nice.
you did.
Maybe
I saw that.
somebody there will hear about it.
This year?
Yeah,
Well.
this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you are
Are
competing.
you going to the
against-
award ceremony?
No, I didn't buy a ticket to the award ceremony.
Oh, okay.
So you'll be
It's
standing
sold
like
out now.
with a cup.
You'll be listening
Yeah.
to the
We'll be,
award,
we'll be outside with
I bought
binoculars
a ticket.
or
I
something.
too am nominated for audio
Congrats.
drama. So.
Yeah.
I have to say that
Congrats.
all of my friends are nominated, and I'm so pumped about it. I'm like, these are my friends?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's awesome. I'm
it's
so
absolutely
happy
cool.
for so many. I think from our cast we had 5 or 6 people. Not in the audio drama category, but in various other categories.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Well, it's good to see your friends, get stuff, and so that's always a pleasure. So
Does the creation of one thing snowball into another? I get an idea, and then 12 other ideas pop up like little gremlins, and I have to squash the ones that I know are not going to go anywhere. I have to focus on the one or two. Are there other things now popping up for you now that you know you can do this? You built a whole thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit, but not ones that I act on. So my husband calls me the dream squasher.
oh
Because he's the super creative ADD guy, and he's always got all these ideas and everything. But I'm like the producer, who I'm like, well, let's be logistical and figure out how to make this happen. And so my dream squasher, timeline budget brain, kind of filters my own creativity, which is not good. I should not allow it to do that.
I do that when my wife wants to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
Squash.
Squash.
Here's reality.
Yeah.
Open up my wallet.
So I do definitely have lots of ideas for other, especially in the romance genre, just because that's just kind of where my mind wanders. Of all kind, I would love to do, a teen comedy. But then I wouldn't be able to cast myself is the only problem, because I don't think I really sound
That'd
like a teen. But I could still do it and not have
You
to
could
be
be
the
the
star.
mom.
Yeah, I could be the mom. Yeah.
There you go.
That was my thought too.
I'll be the
So yeah, I
weird
definitely
uncle.
have other ideas. I just haven't acted on them so much.
Grandpa.
Yeah, we've already come up with it.
Once we finish recording, we're gonna stay on, and we're gonna start writing the next great audio drama with Susan.
Let's.
Called Teenage Romcom Formula. No. I mean, hopefully, you've got your creative outlet, and they say, like you said, I mean, they say that if you want to see things happen, create it yourself. And so hopefully we get to see more from you. Have you thought about any other genres, any other
I
what
have.
what do you got
I thought
cooking
about
up?
so just back to the subject of the more popular genres in the audio drama world, I think, are sci-fi and horror. I don't feel like I could really. I don't feel like I've done anything that I don't know that I could write sci-fi, but I feel like maybe I could write something in the horror genre, and I think that would be really fun, because that's
I'd love to help.
sound is so important in horror, and just the tension, and I feel like that would be really fun. So that's something that I've thought about.
And there's almost always some sort of love.
Yeah,
in-
because somebody's got to die.
Yeah. It's
Or
a crazy
almost.
thing in horror movies that it's like the exact wrong time to profess your love for someone, and
which is great. I mean, you look back at some of these old movies and it's like, what? And then the sequel comes out, you're like, come on. And then there's 7 and you're like,
who do I have left to kill? Why do people keep going back to that camp?
yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's dead? He lives in your dreams. He's Freddy's not dead.
He's not dead because they still want to make money, and so
That's
they're
it.
coming up with ways for
They
him to
wanna
come
make-
back.
But I feel that way. I'm thinking about that, and those B movies, you think, when why are they still doing this? Why are they making movies where, you can see the boom mic float in or whatever? Because someone wanted to be in something or be a part of something, and there was a bunch of people telling them no.
Yeah.
And 7 Jasons later, or however many they've made now, it's like, yeah, we got to do this over and over and over again.
Yeah, they're pursuing their creative passions.
Yeah.
I don't normally go to see like horror movies, but like I think I saw like two of the biggest movies so far this year, or at least 2 of the biggest movies of the past month or whatever, were extremely low budget horror films that were created on a shoestring budget by YouTube creators. Like the Obsession, I think, is one of them. I don't know really anything about it. I just know that it's this YouTube creator said, I'm going to make a movie. Got distribution, and it's like the biggest thing. So you can make your own, if you are that type of creative person, you can make your own way by making your own stuff.
So what does it look like as... I'm not going to call you a dream squasher. You made dreams come true. You did the thing. Now,
you did at least one dream.
You're practical enough to think you can't do all the dreams. What does it look like in your brain to finally push forward, yes, let's do this? Like for us out there who have cold feet and can't get the ball rolling, help us do that.
Well, for me, it's like I have to do it. I want to get shit done. I am a doer. And so it's just like, it's just making the list of, the steps and just checking things off the list. Even if it's you do one thing a day. You don't try to eat the elephant all at one time. It's think about what are the steps, what needs to happen first, and just do one piece of it a day so that you can say that it's done, and then just keep going. Because the more you do, the more you can't stop. The more you're just dying to do more. It's just like the creativity practice. The more you practice it, the more your brain is going to allow yourself to think more creatively, and you get once the momentum is there, you really can't stop it.
So,
and time blocking for people who are good at getting distracted. You build time on your calendar. You mark it off on your calendar. This is the time that I'm going to use to focus on this thing. And you don't do anything else until it's done. And then sometimes, if you have more time than that 30-minute block that you've blocked off or whatever, you can keep going. You can do more. But at least do that 30 minutes or that 20 minutes, whatever you have in your schedule.
See, I'm really good at blocking time off, and then that time comes, and I go, So
you need accountability buddies. You need Susan's
right?
Group. Yeah. Well, I have to say, and I hate to admit, I used AI to help me do your exact thing, what you just said. Block time. Well, not block time out. I have to figure that out myself, but break things down into bite-sized pieces. Me doing that by myself was its own elephant, right?
Yeah.
Figuring out what to do was its own elephant. And then doing the things within that are mini elephants. I don't know, baby. I wouldn't eat a baby elephant. Anyway.
Just elephant parts.
Might be tastier.
Organs.
Yeah, true, yeah. More tender. I'm sure you don't have any qualms with that. But I found after it gave me that entire list of breakdownable things, I'm like, how do I start just even a portion of this? But you're a task-oriented kind of person.
Yeah. I mean, project manager, producer, and that's also part of it. Is I already knew what to do, just from 20 years of doing it for other people. So I already knew that's part of it. Is when you don't know what to do and you don't know what the tasks are, you need a project manager or a producer to help you figure out what needs to be done, and then also, hopefully you can divide it up between the other people who are on the project. You don't have to all do it yourself.
Oh man. Gosh.
Yeah, that's key, because that's, I honestly, right before this podcast, I met with Mitch and one other person, and we're cooking something up. And we were talking about the collaborative process and how, an idea may have started with me, but I need people. I need people to help me along and to throw their 2 cents in, and to, talk me off ledges and to be part of that collaborative process. Did you find that with this as well? I mean, I know
absolutely.
you said you had some people punch it up and things like that, but I mean, from the start, were you like, I can't do this alone, I really need a team?
Yeah, for sure. Like I mentioned, Micah Caldwell is the person that I collaborated with to really kind of get it off the ground. She was great about bouncing ideas off of and helping me to give things the script structure, and like asking questions about like, well, wait, if you're setting up this thing, make sure we need to make sure we're paying that off here. And, oh, this part is confusing. I don't know who's talking here. Things like that. And just cleaning it up to make sure it made sense outside of my head.
Yeah, because it's easy to see all the characters you've created talk, and then, 2 people sound remotely similar. You're like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah. And my editor, Doug, too, since he has a lot of like TV editing experience, he was really great about even just like the script formatting. Like I was kind of loosey-goosey about like the script formatting. I didn't think it really mattered, but he was like, no, it really does matter that you put it in the proper like screenwriting format, and you have stage directions and setups and interiors and exteriors, and because that's all information that I as an editor need to be able to build the scene. So he really pushed us in a good way in that regard.
After trying to read so many scripts, and my brain doesn't function in those weird all caps parentheses middle of the page, I'm like, how have we not figured out just a slightly better way to write these effing things? Like, personally, I can barely get through a book anymore, but scripts for me are like, ugh.
Well, I will say I do think that it's not a natural way, since we're so used to reading paragraphs and things like that. But I think if there was a better way, they would have come up with it by now. I think they've, this works for what it needs to be.
Who's they, Mike? Let's do this.
The people, the guys, the
industry standard.
the people who write the checks.
That's how they know how to read it.
Yeah.
They don't know how to, and it's true. Like Doug, my editor, like there was stuff that I thought was obvious, but he was like, it's not on the page in the right format. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't tell you how many hours we spent arguing over what an audio montage is and how you write an audio montage into a screenplay script. Because, a rom-com has to have a montage, right? But usually a montage.
Gotta be a montage.
Right, montage. They're like building a boat together or something. I don't know. And that's all visual. And so then it was like, wait a minute, what do you say? How do you do an audio montage?
Right.
So it was figuring out what that sounds like, but also how that's formatted in the script was a whole thing.
That's a fun little experiment. I guess I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a montage.
Doesn't sound like it was that fun.
But I don't know. It sounds like an interesting experiment. We're going to take this thing that's always visual. Montage is like very visual,
right,
and turn it into something completely different. That's
it's got
so wild.
And now they're building a boat.
They're thinking of each other in
as the
bubbles.
writer, right? And I find myself being this way. As much as I like collaboration, and as much as you brought people in, did you get a little attached? And was it kind of hard sometimes when people made suggestions to change this or to move that, or like the montage conversation and all of that? Was that hard, or are you more of the person like, I need people to tell me when things aren't working and to cut out the chaff and all of that?
It was actually pretty easy because there was a lot of places where people punched up jokes, and it was funnier. They made suggestions that it was easy to just be like, yep, that's better, yep, that's better, yep, that's better. But then there was also easy places where I was like, nope, I'm dying on this hill. Like there's a Cyrano de Bergerac reference in the script, and none of the writers had ever heard of Cyrano de Bergerac, and I don't know if you guys have.
Yeah. Of course we have.
So
What?
okay,
Oh,
you have it?
50-50.
No, who are you
So-
talking about? What is that?
Cyrano.
Cyrano de Bergerac. It's. Do you know the movie from the '80s, Roxanne, with Steve Martin? That's the
I never
one.
saw it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a classic. It's a classic story of a guy with a big nose, and he's pursuing the more attractive guy is like pursuing a love interest, but Cyrano is the one who's really in love with her, and he's like feeding his friend lines.
The good-looking guy
to woo.
is stupid.
Yeah, the good-looking guy is stupid, but Cyrano is feeding him lines to help woo this woman,
Okay.
right? But he's really the one who's
And so-
truly in love with her. And so that's a trope.
Through those lines, she falls in love with Cyrano because she falls in love not with the man, but with what the man is saying.
I guess
Yeah.
I've seen this trope played out.
Yes, you've seen the trope.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
haven't-
it's-
if you're not familiar with the original, you've seen the trope, right? And so none of the writers had ever heard of it either. And so I was like, am I just like being really like particular and snooty here that I know about this thing? Like, and so I did like a poll with everybody I knew online, like how many people know this? Is this? And so it was enough people to convince me that like that is a thing. If you don't know about it, you at least know the trope. And so I'm dying on this hill. It's staying in the script, and it did, and I thought it was really funny.
Well,
So-
mine isn't as old, but I have a Murder, She Wrote reference in
good.
mind. So,
Good.
some of those younger
people know
folk won't
Murder,
get
She
it,
Wrote.
but
Yeah.
that's okay. I don't care. It's funny to me.
That's I guess the cool thing about it being yours is like, okay, well, even if this is niche, even if everyone said, no, I have no idea what you're talking about, you keep it in, and the people who know, they know, or
Yeah.
they
There's always got to
enjoy
be in
it.
jokes.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's people
It's a piece
love,
of you.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
And there's so many little Susan Cooper Easter eggs that my friends who know me well throughout every scene. They're like, oh, that's funny. Because it's like I use my maiden name in a scene, and like, there's a whole thing about building a treehouse in the backyard, which is I really do have a treehouse in the backyard, and like, there's a paint color called Celtic Breeze, and that's the beach house that I grew up going to, and a bunch of my friends
You
have
write
also.
what you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I find a thrill in all of that, and my friends who have listened to it also have thought it was funny, and like, they'll send me, as they were listening, they would send me little texts like, ha, I got that.
Nice.
That's fun.
Yeah, my script takes place in Pensacola, Florida, and I got kicked out of college in Pensacola, Florida. So, it all starts with what you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or what you despise. I try
So-
to put if someone says "done" in a script, I'll say "Dunsky." That's a Mitch thing.
Yeah. I'll make sure
that?
not to write done in your dialogue. So I do want to roll back though to the to the ad agency stuff. So
Yeah.
it's again, I mean, it's a very interesting juxtaposition to me of being a voice actor and also being in advertising. And it's a side of the coin that a lot of us don't see. I mean, we're auditioning for things. We're auditioning for advertisements all the time. Most of us are trying to get commercial work because that's what pays. But we don't see what happens behind the scenes. We talk to casting directors. We have agents and things like that. But the actual ad agency, say there's a voice spot for X company. What is it that you and your company does? What is it that they do? I don't know. Language. I speak for a living. Walk us through
what's the process?
what an ad agency does with a campaign.
Yeah. So it starts with a creative brief where, the client will input what they want. They're like, we need a campaign to sell slushies at our gas station. I'm just making that up. So there'll be a creative brief that'll have, it'll have like the target audience and the message, the CTA, call to action, and, whatever pertinent information, and it's going to be a TV spot, and it's going to run on streaming audio, and it's going to be, on paid social, whatever. And so the strategist will write a brief that's more helpful to creatives about with cultural insights, like, people go to this gas station. They actually tend to go in the mornings and get a slushie for breakfast at this particular place. So we can lean into that. And so then the creatives will come up with ideas, and we present. There'll be 1,000 internal meetings to review ideas, and creative directors will shoot down most of them and approve some of them to go to the client, and then we'll have another meeting, have a lot of meetings to like review it with the full team and the strategist and the account people, and then they'll present it to the client, and then we'll revise it 1,000 times and have a lot more meetings, and then finally the client will approve it, and then it's time to go in production. And if it's a big campaign, we'll shoot something, and then after we shoot something, then we'll be like, okay, now it's time to record the VO when it's in post-production. And so the creative team will write up some casting specs, and the producer will, almost all of the stuff that we do, we work with casting directors. And so the producer will send it to a casting director, and then it, goes out to agents, and we share the creative team's favorite, top 3 auditions with the client usually.
Wow.
And then usually the client will pick the creative's first choice, but not always. And then it's go record. And so, I think there's probably, I imagine that voice actors, when you get an audition from your agent, you're like, God, this is due tomorrow, or this is due in 12 hours. Why is it so fast? Well, it's because by the time we, have been through all these rounds of revisions on scripts and gotten approval, we can't really start the production process until the director is approved, the scripts are approved, the budget is approved, and so then production is usually a mad dash. And so it's like we can't really start spending money until we've got approval on all that, and then we have a really short time to get it all done. Sometimes, there's been stuff where we revised scripts and did focus groups for a year and a half before we actually went into production.
Wow.
And then there's times where we have a week.
And VO's near the end of that whole
very end.
process.
Yeah.
Whereas, obviously, as a newer VO, you're like, I am a very important person, but there's in seemingly infinite, there's so many people involved with, the client's wife, is involved for some reason.
Client's babysitter.
Babysitter's I
Yeah.
don't know about slushies. Can we do something else? Hot dogs?
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane, but it also sounds like fun and collaborative, just as minus all the approvals and meetings, I guess. But
that was the best part of making my own project, is not having to have internal review meetings. I was the one who approved and reviewed, and so I didn't have to get anyone's approval. That was the best part. That's the first time in my life I haven't had
the power.
I hadn't had to route it for approval.
This is not a democracy.
Yeah.
And you are teaching a workshop at One Voice this August in Dallas about or that centers around ad agencies. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it'll be like Confessions of an Ad Agency Insider. So same things that I just talked through, where it'll be just sort of talking about the ad agency process and who does what on the agency side and how that all works, and then hopefully, I'm hoping I can share some real examples of some auditions and some real spots, so that you can see, sometimes there's a huge difference between the audition and then what actually made it to air.
I would love to hear that.
So that's my goal, is to be able to share a whole bunch of examples so that people can really hear what actually made it through in the audition process, what actually made it through to share with the client, and then how it all turned out.
Well, so if you're listening to this and you are going to Dallas in a couple months for One Voice USA, be sure to look for Susan's breakout on the schedule. We'll also, post some information about that in the liner notes for for when we push the episode out and promote it and everything.
Could be anytime. Who knows when that is?
It'll be a week from Thursday.
Okay.
Or will it be this Thursday? I don't know. It'll be on a Thursday coming up very shortly, because today's Monday. We're recording this. Everybody knows.
It's Monday.
Yes, it's Monday. But yeah, so looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing you in Dallas, and as long as my schedule lines up, and it's not like during one of my during an X session, or what is it called? It's not called an X session in Dallas. What are the paid sessions?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Friday afternoon, so I think it's.
I do have another question.
Yeah, go. Mitch has more questions.
I have another question. Is that okay, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Please have,
Is that okay?
please have
Is
another
everything
question.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Please. You do all this, all the stuff you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
How has it helped you get a leg up in VO, if it has at all, in auditioning, in tailoring your reads, all of that? And should we all work at ad agencies for that reason?
I think it gives me a leg up in that I kind of see current trends in real time.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
And I get to be on podcasts, I guess, with you guys.
Not a
We're
person.
so important.
But it also, and I also know a lot of creatives, just from being in advertising for 20-something years. I've worked with a lot of different creatives, and then they go to other agencies where hopefully they can book me. Since I can't do work for my own clients, I could do work for the creative directors who are now at XYZ agency, and, hopefully
So
one day
keep
they'll
that
call me.
Rolodex, and then
Hopefully,
when you know
yeah.
that they've moved on and they're not using your agency,
Yeah.
hey, remember me?
That hasn't really happened yet on anything paid, but I hope it will. I need to.
But I kept my Rolodex.
I kept my Rolodex.
Speaking
See,
of-
Mitch, what a Rolodex is back in the
I
day
really had
before
one.
cell phones. All right. Well, can you? I mean, for our listeners, for us, can you tell us what's a trend we should be on the lookout for?
Lately, I've felt like the real no BS attitude, where you just only give a little bit of a shit.
That's Mitch's forte, dude. That is his lane.
I may be getting hired soon.
Yeah, I feel like that's my lane too, but it hasn't gotten me bookings with that
Gotcha.
yet. But what has? Something I make myself is.
And of the things that you've produced, do you have a favorite-ish thing? And do you have a favorite thing you voiced in that isn't your own production?
A favorite thing to produce is always comedy, because it's just fun. It's fun the whole process, where you're laughing, in the script writing process, you're laughing at the shoot, you're laughing during the edit.
Yeah.
We just made a spot for Elf Beauty with Bigfoot, and it's hilarious.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, yeah. Because he has beautiful hair, and it's for a hair product. So
That's funny.
and it was just, it's one of the funniest
There you go, Mitch.
spots that we've done.
File that idea away.
Filed away.
Bigfoot with beautiful hair.
Yeah, yeah. So, comedy commercials are always my favorite. Favorite thing that I've been booked on, other than my own. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite, because I don't get booked that much.
I mean, you've voiced commercials that, even if they weren't the paid ones, those ones that you did
Yeah,
pro
yeah.
bono.
I'm
sure there was
so still
comedy again.
Still comedy, yeah, yeah. And
I will accept that the thing you created is the funnest thing you've done.
yeah,
That
absolutely.
is a
Absolutely.
viable answer.
Yes,
It is
yes.
viable. I just wanted to know.
The
I knew that would be
Romcom
the answer.
Formula
The Romcom Formula.
There's
yeah.
Susan's favorite thing, and it should be yours too, listener.
Just,
I just love that I have that.
I
If
know,
you're just
he's-
listening,
he's
you're
hitting
not
that
watching.
promo
I have a
pretty
little
good.
sticker that Susan gave
I
me
know.
at VOA.
I'm so glad.
That
I'm
says
so
the
glad.
Romcom Formula
any
on it.
silence in this
Yeah.
is him holding up a sticker. Just to
Yeah.
let
So
you know.
glad you have the sticker handy.
Right? Yeah, I made sure that I did.
Yeah. Well, it means you also haven't put it on your car to advertise it, which
Yeah.
It'll
Well,
wash
it will
off.
be. It will be going right up here on my board of wonderfulness behind me
good.
here,
We'll
so
stab
that in future episodes people can
Oh,
see it and
good.
go,
Yeah.
"Oh, that I need to check that out."
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, I feel like we wrote a comedy recently, or at least ChatGPT wrote it.
Yeah.
It sounds
I
familiar.
feel like it.
You see
know
what happened?
Boys and girls, we changed up the formula a little bit today. So we're not going to pause. We're going to go right into it because we already have it written. And so we're gonna check this little thing out.
Now you just get to hear us
we're gonna have
click
a little
around.
fun.
This is probably really great.
Yep. That's the thing is usually, it's like, okay, we'll be right back. And we pause and we do all this crap behind the scenes where nobody gets to hear it. And then we come back and go, all right, we're back. Here's the script. Let's go.
Okay,
Now you got to hear us.
This is more of an ASMR episode of clicks and shuffling.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Are we ready to roll?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Mitch, you got us?
Yes. What is this called? Oh, it's called Camp Cupid's Last Splash. Let you get you in the scene here. Exterior, camp, lake dock, sunset. A gorgeous summer evening. Ethan and Jace stand on opposite ends of a dock, holding handmade bouquets constructed from camp arts and crafts supplies. Maddie approaches carrying a canoe paddle.
Okay, first question. Why did I get 2 separate texts saying, meet me at the dock immediately?
Well, I wanted to talk to you.
No, I wanted to talk to you.
Well, me.
Okay, fantastic. Nothing says healthy communication like scheduling a duel.
It's not a duel.
Yet.
Listen.
Good start. Did everyone hear that?
Probably a squirrel.
A squirrel that owes money to the mob?
Sounded serious.
Well, if we get murdered, at least I'll know I died attending the world's most awkward group date.
Well, Maddie, look, I've liked you ever since the counselor orientation. You just you have a glow.
I've liked you since you accidentally hit me with a dodgeball. So
Accidentally?
That was funny.
Okay, you aimed, but
Thank you.
Maddie, you're so smart and you're funny and
terrifying at sports.
Finally, someone notices my strengths.
Serial killer, stay together.
What?
Well, that's new.
Maybe she meant cereal like the food killer?
No one has ever mistaken those 2 things.
It's happened at least once.
Just now, inside your head. Ah! You know what's weird? Nobody ever has a serial killer problem during tax season.
That's oddly specific, Maddie.
I'm just saying, summer camps get all the excitement. Okay, new priority, survival.
Yeah, we should probably cross the lake.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
Great plan.
Small problem.
Whenever someone says small problem, it's never small.
Yeah, I can't swim.
What?
Dude, you can't swim?
We're standing on a dock at a lake at a summer camp.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm mostly supervised from the shore, right?
You teach kayaking.
I teach enthusiasm in kayaking.
That's not a water safety certification. Fine, canoe, everybody move. It's completely filled with rubber ducks. No.
What?
No, explain this.
Annual Duck Appreciation Week, I think.
That's not real.
It could be.
You say that about everything.
Well, he's got a point this
No,
time.
he doesn't.
What is happening?
Excellent question.
We're in a love triangle.
And possibly danger.
Possibly.
You're worried about dating right now?
Trust me, I'm not.
With these two.
Unfortunately.
And one of you can't swim.
Correct.
And the other thought that I was attacking breakfast.
Also correct.
I maintain it was a reasonable theory, okay?
You absolutely should not.
Listen, you, my dear, deserve better.
Thank you.
Hey.
Rude.
No, he's making the strongest argument I've heard all evening.
I chased campers for hours and somehow ended up in a relationship counseling.
How do you think I feel?
Fair. Wait, aren't you supposed to be chasing us? Not anymore.
Honestly, that's probably the healthiest decision made today. Well, since we're all alive, let's settle this.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I choose neither of you.
Oh.
Seriously?
One of you can't swim.
Yeah, it's fair, I guess.
The other thinks breakfast crimes are common.
Also fair, I guess.
I'm 17. I don't need a boyfriend. I need competent coworkers. Now get these ducks out of the canoe.
Okay, how many are there?
I've counted 173.
What?
You've already counted them? Are you some kind of savant or what?
Of course. Someone around here has to be organized.
Swim! Swim!
I can't.
You know what? This one's on me for forgetting.
Swim! Ethan!
Fade out.
Cool, and ended with me as a dead body in a lake.
That they wrote that better the second time. See, you give the female protagonist more lines, everyone's better.
Yeah, we went over it once before the show, and yeah, Susan didn't have as much to do, so Mitch said, write more lines for the female, and then that's the first time we saw the second script, so you're welcome.
Not bad.
Not bad. Was that fun, Susan? Did you
That
have
was
fun?
great. We're meeting right after this to develop this whole series, right?
It's going to be a series, yes. You talked about, right? It's funny, it's ironic that we already knew we had this in the can, and we talked about rom-coms and horror, and that Susan
really
is going to write both. So there you go. There's the new audio drama series from Susan Cooper.
If you
Camp Cupid's Last Splash.
If you came onto this show to pretend like you didn't know what ChatGPT roulette was, to then make us write a horror comedy rom-com skit for teenagers, to get us roped in, I say, let's do this.
I mean, as long as you offer us the roles of Ethan and Jace, then I think we're on board.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, we got to get going then because we got a lot of writing to do. So, Susan, thanks so much for being on with us. It was a blast.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you telling us your story and putting up with our shenanigans.
Thanks for the shenanigans, guys. I loved it. Anytime.
Yeah. And we get to have more shenanigans in a couple months when we're all going to be in the same room together in Dallas. How about that?
Yeah, we can all hold the cup to the door to listen in on the awards.
I'll be inside. I did buy a ticket. To
okay, you're a high roller.
Mike's gonna wear a body cam, like a button cam for me.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a GoPro just attached to my forehead.
Okay, and I'll be looking over his shoulder on his phone,
Can we put
trying
on the
to.
boat?
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. GoPro on the head. It is.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Thank you again, Susan, for being here. And,
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Here we go. Bye.
Bye.
I also enjoyed talking.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Where's the stop button? They redid Riverside. I can't figure out how to stop this thing.
It happened last time.
I know. Good
This is
gravy. Oh,
staying
there
in.
it is.
We're gonna keep.